remember I enjoyed all the people that Wendy Williams is such a good interviewer. You know, I know she's the gossip queen and all that, but she was so good. It was so much better. Like I've been on like the Tom Joyner morning show and all that. I didn't like that experience, to be honest with you. Wendy's show, because Charlamagne and Wendy was such a great team, I wish they were still working together, even though Wendy looks like she's struggling a little bit. They were just good. They were so good. And so what I gathered, because I was on the show so many times and I got to know people really well with the show, was that there was some personal stuff going on behind the scenes that caused everything to kind of fall apart. And so here's the thing. This is the lesson for anybody that's out here trying to build something, trying to get your own $100 million deal or your $10 million deal or your $1 million deal or your $100,000 deal. After Wendy left, radio, I remember it was a big deal. I was on her show the week she was leaving, and me and her were sitting there for an hour. And on radio, it's interesting because the breaks are really long. So you get to talk a long time during the breaks. The breaks are longer than the damn show. So I'm talking to Wendy about her next move, and I was like, "Are you sure you want to go to TV? This sounds like a big deal, and blah blah blah." And she was saying she was ready, and it was really interesting. And here's the thing though, Charlamagne wasn't like after it was done. From what I understood, Charlamagne just had to go back to South Carolina. And let me just tell you this: so when he goes back to South Carolina, this is again my perception. I don't know his life like that. I just know what I saw. He will call me and ask me to be on his show that he was doing in South Carolina. What nobody listened to this show. Well, from what I understand, I think this show might have been like a public access radio show. It wasn't nobody listening except two farmers and a chicken. And this man was doing radio even when he wasn't getting paid. He was doing radio even when nobody was listening. He was doing radio even when he didn't have a deal because he had a love for radio. And I would go on a show, it would take like an hour, and I'd say, damn, I don't have that's a lot of time. And I remember my brother coming back in the following Sunday. He's like, yeah, Charlamagne wants to know if you can come on this Sunday. I'm like, but I talked to him last week. And so I went ahead and I did it because I remember thinking, well, if I was down and out, I'd want somebody to do that for me. And I remember how nice he was to me when he had Wendy's show. I had no idea all the Breakfast Club stuff was going to happen. I just thought he was just going to be a guy in South Carolina doing local radio forever. So I went back on and I remember then seeing him have all his success with the Breakfast Club. And I said, that guy earned it. That deserved it. See, he deserves it. And this is the point I want to make to everybody. What you're made of isn't determined by what you do when people are watching. What you're made of is determined by what you do when nobody's watching. You have everybody in here. Give me a guess if you have a passion or you have something that you think you're good at, something you want to be successful at. Everybody wants to be successful. Say yes in the comments. Let me just tell you that you can't have a passion where it's only your passion when you're getting paid. You can't have it because then it's not your passion. It's your job. You can have a passion where it's only your passion when you feel like it's working, because then you need that external validation for you to keep going. You can't have a passion that only becomes your passion when you're in the spotlight, because you got to earn the damn spotlight. And what I can say about this, the reason I was happy to see Charlamagne have his success is I said, this is the guy that earned the spotlight. Good for him because he was doing radio when nobody was watching. When that Wendy show fell apart, I did not. Again, I wasn't too much of an insider, but I have some very good friends who were part of that show at the time. And for what I understand, it was a complete mess, and a lot of people got screwed, including him. And just like Wendy did the same thing when Diddy tried to run her out of town because if y'all don't remember, Wendy Williams was one of the first people to tell you that all these rappers were gay. Right? I mean, she used to say that in like 1999, and Diddy had her run out of the city, from what I understood. Like you don't want to mess with Diddy back then. You might end up sleeping with the fishes, and they ran her out of town. But she came back, like a thunderstorm. So sometimes that setback is your opportunity for the biggest comeback. Wendy and Charlamagne, one thing they had in common, in my opinion, is that they were both deeply committed to their craft. I believe that's why I had such a good experience when I would go on their show. I was like, this is just well done. These people, they're kind of ghetto and a little wild, but it's all done in a way that shows a commitment to excessive professionalism in what they do. That's why they're successful. So that's my personal story on this. And this is one of the reasons why I think he deserves what he's getting, and I'm happy for him. I think it's going to be great to watch.